Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of ChatGPT,
Thank you.
the podcast that covers games and media and everything. We're hosted by Anzu.io, leading game advertising solution out there. And we have with us two guests. As usual, we have
Maol. Great being here again, and Director of Growth here at Anzu, making publishers money, top service,
there we go.
etc.
We have a new guy.
Hi, Stach Zelivansky, one of the growth managers. Thank you very much, actually, for adding.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. My name is Guy. I'm the EVP of Revenue Operation and Supply at Anzu. What we'll do is we'll cover some news in the market, and then we want to really cover and maybe dive into the evolution of game monetization, not only advertising and how HD affected PC and mobile, and how mobile affected HD. Say HD, I mean PC, console, anything big screen. Before we start some, things that happen, I think, I do want to start with saying that post-DICE, not a lot of news, but post-DICE, we had a dear friend, Carter Lipscomb, that passed away, surprisingly after DICE. Met a lot of people. I'm now sorry that I wasn't there. Dear friend to many. Amazing energy. It was a PlayStation. After that, the Tyrant Galaxy. But everybody knew him as Dr. Business Development. His heart was always kind of on the verge, and unfortunately, he got back from DICE, went out for a morning jog, as far as I know, didn't come back. You can see and read a lot about him over LinkedIn, over Facebook, just the amount, thousands practically, of notes about who he was. So here's for you, Carter Lipscomb. See you in better grounds somewhere, down the future of everyone. I love him, and I know at GDC a lot of people are going to speak about that. To other news, to other business news, we had a lot of business news over the last 10 days. Scopely, right? One of Anzu's partners is looking to at Niantic, Pokemon Go. They're going to buy that game for
$3.5 billion. Still money.
shares and cash, I guess. Probably more shares than cash, I would guess. But why do you think they would do that? I mean, Scopely has some amazing games.
Scopely are known for taking games that are either premature or already mature and taking them to the next level on Admon. But also on the monetization side, they had a very success story with Stumble Guys 3 years ago when they acquired them, the studio, and Monopoly Go, success till this day.
Yeah.
PYP game, zero ads. Bummer. But yeah, they're known for taking a game to the success. They they don't understand maybe whatever else they can do.
I think, I've seen Scopely being extremely data driven, like quite a few top publishers being able to look at the game. This game, though, is pretty old considering, right? I mean, it's been around for, did you play Pokemon Go?
I didn't play Pokemon Go because I was always like a PC gamer. And I said I'm not gonna touch even get close to mobile. But all of my friends actually played Pokemon Go.
I've seen people
It huge.
Yeah, huge. Actually getting around and doing something that from on the outside, it looks very odd.
It was the first game actually that I saw people like not me, not in the game area, actually playing, and you can see someone actually moving around in the real life, but also playing, also gamer. It's not exactly gamer.
It's also easy to VR, like having a headset.
Yeah. Well, the when the game went out to market, I remember I was in LA, I was in San Francisco, and I remember seeing groups of people dressed as Pokemons going out with their phones as groups, running around to find, and fight in that game. And
Mind blowing.
yeah,
To say.
and still down to this day, Niantic tried to do the same with Harry Potter. They tried to do the same with the NBA. Nothing went even close to that success.
Pokemon is something that even if you weren't really a Pokemon guy, it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Everyone was engaged with Pokemon sometime.
Point, yeah.
Up until now, I have to say that if I will see someone actually going, even in the mall or whatever, in the park, with his phone, trying to look for something, and I don't see his screen, I will probably say that he's looking for a Pokemon. Up until now, for sure.
It's extremely associated with, the core. Niantic is a technology company for AR or XR experiences, but mostly AR. They sort of were pushed to create a game, and they've created a few which didn't work so well until they licensed Pokemon. In Pokemon, the story goes so well with going around, finding Pokemons, getting them, fighting with others. So it really was a perfect match. I'd actually thought that Harry Potter, which is kind of similar, would be the same, but didn't get a lot of the success was more with games that you see on Nintendo, now Nintendo Switch. Talking of other companies that are tech at the core and now are sort of understanding that investing in games sort of took them too much is AppLovin, right? I understand AppLovin is looking to sell its portfolio in games.
According to the media, talking about $900 million. The buyer is still unknown. So now there are some rumors. Let's not disclose them at the moment. But yeah,
I'm willing to play a small betting game. It's like, who do you think will be the buyer?
Yeah, we're doing this.
Why not?
I guess it's gonna be
I mean, if you got the money to, behind it.
bank account.
I would say that I think it's a PC guy or a console guy that want to have a part in the mobile. I don't know. I don't know names really, but this is the way that I think it.
Correct.
I'm gonna get close the Take-Two group, primarily because they've seen such success with acquiring Zynga.
Well, it's that's sort of a debate, right? Some voices said that Take-Two are not happy with that mobile expansion. Some do.
They're making money. Bottom line. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like roughly 60% of their income, Take-Two, coming from the mobile activity could be either from their more hybrid casual. It could be more from the P games. So it really varies over there. And I think they saw a good, performance revenue wise. So why not expand it?
I thought it was Scopely with Savvy Group. Now I'm less convinced, especially with that purchase that they are doing. I'm actually looking not at Take-Two so much as others, EA or Microsoft. Throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Right.
I've said,
But we'll see. The fact that they talked about it and it wasn't announced for, I think now more than 10 days, I don't know where the deal is, but it's not, for me, it's not a good sign.
Plavin and our focus on their tech side, SDK, mediation. They're very strong now on e-commerce, CTV.
Yeah. And there's a huge portfolio of different, type of, all is casual, but there are different type of casual games there, which is really interesting. Going back to DICE, Astrobot won a lot of awards. I don't know if you've seen that in the award show at the end of DICE. We've seen separately Marvel Rivals. I don't know if you've seen that game, but that game is being watched a lot over Steam these days. There was Steam Elements came out with a report about how Twitch, how that game is very strong over Twitch. And that has a lot of effect. It also has effect because that game was owned by the owners of TikTok, and they had to pull some changes at the back end, and there's sort of PR around that game that it's sort of kosher, right? Where I think in the US there were kind of different pushes on a political level more than in gameplay level.
Avoiding shutting down the game.
Exactly.
Hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was down for a day, right, or so. And then Steam came out with an updated set of rules around in-game advertising. I think we talked about it for just a bit, but now we know a bit more. Valve, specifically were very specific about advertisements that stop gameplay, right, that gate players from playing and things.
This is great, actually. I have to say that, well, Steam is a PC. PC is a user that actually divided his time and money and all other stuff that he can do, not just to pull out his phone, actually to play.
Yep.
Just to play. And this is only the thing that he wants to do now. And I'm really happy to see that actually Steam said, like, enough said. Like,
very clear cut.
I'm here to play, so let him play. So I'm really happy about that because I thought that, Anzu, the most important thing for Anzu is the user experience. So I'm really happy to see that the top of the line still think the same.
In that case, I think we're very much aligned,
Exactly.
with the store, a lot of consoles, the first thing that they care about is overall the user experience. If you look at it, a lot of the mobile games we work with, same thing, they are testing the monetization opportunity, any monetization opportunity versus how much people stay with a game, spend with a game with the core monetization channels. And then, if they can add us without hurting that so much, fine.
And
But it's UX.
I have to say, as a PC gamer, I wouldn't mind about seeing an ad. That doesn't matter for me. I want to see, if I will see an ad, that you, of course, first won't interrupt me. Second of all, the quality of the ad should be nice. It should be integrated nicely, smoothly. And then afterwards, go with the win-win.
So let's dive into the history of that, right? A lot of people are looking at the monetization channels, the history. HD games have been with us for quite some time. There's a lot of noise from the background, but fine. Part of the recording. It's part of CV Live. I'll take you back into the, early 2000, even before that, games were paid games, right? Definitely most of the games, if you thought about a game, you would think about game consoles, right? PC. But even back then, there was in-game advertising and brand integration. And even back then, there was, some ads or some brands where the integration was cool with the players and some of it not. I think, it's people remember a few of these back in the day, between sports games and others. Do you remember these stories, these days, or?
I actually want to tackle this from another angle. I mean, the first, I would say, FIFA games or NBA games, in the end, these were out and, CDs.
Yeah.
And obviously these days, internet, everything, even if it's through SDK, like what Anzu is doing, or something a bit more hard-coded, it's all based on game updates, pushing something to the end user. Theoretically, everything is possible. Back in the day, you just added one gelated with, and that's again, and this is what you
hard coded.
so that you're not gonna even talk about, measurable stuff like that, attribution, forbid.
No, it's brands that it was more about positioning of either the brand or the game or both. Same way that a game would license, let's say a movie license to be more known or accepted. They would license a car manufacturer logo. They would pay. And then over time, it was the other way around. People remember Burnout Paradise from 2008. It seems long ago. And they ran a few of these in one of the campaigns, so to speak, or one of the integration was political. And players were not happy about that. That was an amazing, not good reference to how the industry. And at that point, companies like Double Fusion, Massive, which was bought by Microsoft and others, were around already to try to create online dynamic campaigns, not programmatic, but online campaigns. I remember meeting a lot of agencies back in the day that were dealing, two people, it wasn't big, were part of a bigger agency, were really just doing those one-off deals. Some of these agencies still exist, right? I mean, we work with them.
Yep. But now they're way more sophisticated and they want to know more.
Well, now they're doing that on Fortnite, right? I think it's seen that happening, right?
That is getting built as we go.
Yeah. With Fortnite, as a platform and with, other platforms that you've seen out there, Roblox, these are almost social media-like platforms where people just hang around and spend a lot of their time socially.
Events, shows, of course, chats,
Right.
interacting with people.
The concept of creators is, it's something that was not possible 20, 30 years ago. Now someone, obviously they need to get some knowledge, but essentially they can make a living. They need to do well, but they can make a good living out of it. Yeah, as a single person sometimes.
Yeah. So the concept of what is a game developer and what is a game publisher changes on these platforms, right? So it's not only the good old EAs and 2Ks and Ubisofts of the world. You could be a 15-year-old game, right? And you manage to focus on creating an experience that people love, people come back to. The KPIs are the same. The effort is extremely different.
And the game, let's put it this way, the game publisher or even the game developer themselves, they encourage those people to continue to innovate, not create like on Fortnite, create a new island, get it promoted, find the sponsor for them. That's like, it's an ecosystem that is getting bigger.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the end user that actually, the one who watches the player plays, I think he is looking for quality. All matters quality, because we're all actually, when the internet gets better from time to time and the quality of the video is better, you want the player to be a good player because this will be something interesting. So I think quality is something that he's looking for within all aspects, from the ads and the gameplay of the player that he watches, and the quality of the video again, and the game itself. So everything is fine and will be fine if you won't interrupt the user experience, and you will keep on growing with the quality that you will show, from the ads to the game itself, to the people, to whatever.
I think part of the quality, something that is important now, is the quality of the community, right? It's not only the game, because, some people might say that some of the platform out there, in terms of visual quality, it's not the highest, right? And in terms of the core loop of the gameplay, it's not, something that's outstanding, but they come back. Players come back because of the community, right? They love that story. They love to share that story, that environment with others.
Show me the effort.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be, never had to be only the visual graphics and the filters and the rendering quality of the picture. There's the story behind it, the people behind it. That's the reason people come back again and again to a game.
Yeah.
And those, mostly I would say, not only indie, but it happens a lot with indie developers, when they actually open Discord servers, create community for those players, and they talk about whatever. It could be problems, server issues, game is down, stuff like that, but also new promotion, new sale, new element that can be purchased. So it's like a mini social network.
Yeah, but also not so mini, I have to say.
Not the game, it may not the scale,
Wait, Discord was oriented only for a specific thing, that when you want to communicate actually with your other game players, friends, and so on, and it started to develop to huge place.
What changed a lot of, I think, the ability to build these communities is the move from paid games to running very quickly forward, free to play. Right today, in between, you got purchases, you got bundles, right, battle passes, you got subscriptions. Got different versions of these one-off payments as you go. The core, though, a lot of time the core experience would be free, and free is a great price point to open communities, right?
For sure.
It's with free, obviously, comes the core numbers, right? The statistics that only 1 to 2% at best would actually pay or be meaningfully paying for the game. So what do you do? It's the whales and the dolphins and the minnows and everybody in between. Those are one-digit number usually. What do you do? How do you treat the rest other than their value in building the community, which is so critical, right? How do you still try to monetize all those players who don't actually pay for the experience?
The easiest way to compare this obviously is to the mobile, software. This the easiest way. Obviously, they ad monetization game publisher had to develop their own tactics. We talked this on previous episodes as well. So for the mobile side, it's granted. They know that they're going to have, 80-20 as always, 80% not making any purchases. And this is where they introduce those ads. On the PC side and overall HD, most of those people who are not coming, game publishers, who are not coming from a mobile overall, they have zero experience with advertising. They now understand, all right, I can incorporate a solution like Anzu. I'm going to benefit from it. I'm not gonna harm. Similarly to the mobile side, they're not going to damage the gameplay. Gonna make a living out of it as we go. We had some numbers. We published some case studies over time.
Right.
Anyone who's listening, make sure you play Slapshot by Oddshot. They had over there a situation where we contributed almost 50% of their income.
And they managed to add more content, grow their team, release more updates because of that, faster than they thought they would.
It took them some time to switch from early access to full version. I think we can be proud of helping them, kind of thinking like a fundraising in a way that took some time, and happy to see them moving on.
Yeah, I have to say that I really want that game developers will make money. I really want that, for sure. And I think that the PC kind of, they're afraid when we say ads, oh my God, no, the user experience will get hurt. He will leave me for another game. It really doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Because you can bind those both together. You can make money. The user experience, not all of them so anti-ads. It all depends how you show it.
So as a PC player, if you're sort of wearing those two hats, right? As a player, working with Anzu or at Anzu, you also understand the brand and the advertiser perspective. What would be the three things a developer should do not to frustrate their audiences, their players?
First of all, me as a player, I'm interested. When I'm playing in a game, I'm interested with any visual small thing that you can provide me. So even if it's something new and it's an ad and it's integrated nicely, you know what? Actually, I want to be integrated. I want to look at it. I want to spray on it because I have a new spray. So I want to do it. I want to shoot on it. Okay. I want to, I don't know, push on it from a balcony. I chose the brand I said. Maybe.
It's engagement. It falls under the engagement.
It is. So I won't have this negative feeling that the game developer think I will have. So don't worry about it, because if I will see a can of whatever brand, actually I want to see something that I can relate to, that I see it in my real life. So the imaginary world that I'm playing now and the real world actually combined, this could be nice.
Right. I don't know if you read this. I think this was surfaced the last couple of days over the weekend. Cross promotion, right? So in Call of Duty, Activision seemingly promoted Tony Hawk, and seemingly there's a date next week, March 4th, I think, where they may or may not have some news about the new version of Tony Hawk. This was on a PC version.
Perfect, go for it.
Right? That's a cross promotion. This is not an external brand.
As a developer, choose the right company that actually provide this high quality that I'm, as a gamer, actually looking for. As a PC gamer, because PC gamer want to see quality. I bought the right keyboard. I bought the right mouse. I have the right, headphones. I want to see the right ad.
You're in the mindset.
Yes, I want the quality to be tight.
Yeah, I think advertisers, major brands want the same, right? They want their brand to be shown in a relevant game.
So with the right collaboration, like the win-win-win situation could be easily.
I think you mentioned the brands, guy, anyone on the cycle must test. I mean, there's no one answer for everything. The end publisher, the game developer must introduce the placement, understand what's happening, what's the player reaction, good, bad, anything in between. The brand itself, they will continue to test different messaging, different platforms. Some of them will start mobile only because that's what they know. Right after, they will come into the HD side, bigger screens, and they will continue with them with that, with their planning.
So we talked about alignment, right? I mean, if you're a PC developer, PC game developer, publisher, you're looking to integrate ads, you're looking to integrate brands, alignment between the brands in your game, is one thing where players would say, okay, this makes sense. I'm fine with it. If the game is free to play, I saw that audiences are, accepting the brands more than that. But there's so many sports and racing games out there with brands that we've seen that definitely happening with paid games. What else do you think, as a developer of a PC game, I should consider when I'm integrating ads, billboards, right? Not necessarily actual 3D products, but just billboards and brand and posters and whatnot.
I think it's like with any other, again, it's easiest to compare this to the mobile side. Make sure you understand what needs to be done technically, viability wise, all the stuff that matters to brands. So you could incorporate it very easily in your game. This is where, us at Anzu, we specialize. That's what we do. This is why we're getting up in the morning, educate and after educating, making sure that the publisher understand and following the lead and starting to do anything we taught him or her.
Choose the right partners actually to do this jump, and there are ones. And actually, we showed we can do it.
Itach, I know that you have been working with some publishers and they were asking about filtering of certain categories and assets. Can you talk more about that?
Well, of course, everyone as a developer is kind of your baby, right? So they are aware that this whole situation of programmatic and ads and integrating ads and seeing this billboard changes from a specific ad to another ad can hurt maybe sometimes lots of end users. And they are right. But there are lots of ways actually to block specific ads that you don't want to show. So don't worry. Like, even though this is a kind of an open world, so it's not so open because we can control it. So everything goes through us. So don't worry. Someone got your back with that.
We got categories, games, specific brands and specific assets that are being filtered. And we'll talk about that in the future. You know, there's a lot of technologies around that alone that's coming to market.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Cool. What else? If I'm a publisher, you know, in terms of too much, is there something like too much ads in the game?
It could be, and I'm saying that as an advertising guy.
Yeah.
It could be. There is this, known term in the advertising world called MFA, meant for advertising. Was very popular and still is, but not as it used to be, mostly on the web space. Websites that were established for single purpose only, zero content or barely content, any content, and just bombarding with any sorts of ads. Obviously, as Iftach mentioned earlier, the gamers want to be respected and they're willing to accept good content. But if you're going to showcase them, 50 ads at any given moment, someone will raise the flag for sure. Probably some of those ads might not look as good as they expect. It can raise questions. So I would say do it smartly. Work closely with your ad partner, Anzo in this case. But try to see if the revenues that you're able to generate is going to help you with scaling your game, get to more users. Like we always say, the more players coming in, probably you will be able to make more money as a game publisher, because the brands want to tap into those big screens. They want users that are heavily engaged on big screens, and they're willing to invest and make those big campaigns with them.
Yeah, you can see again and again that we're talking with publishers that actually want to add us to more and more games. And they think that they already know how to do it. So they try to put more ads and actually we stop them.
Right.
We say we know the end users better than anyone really. We're playing the games. We're talking with everyone from both sides, and we're actually decreasing the numbers of ads sometimes and putting them in the right place at the right time, because we want that everyone will win here.
Yeah, well, the fact that Anzu is more integrated inside the game than any other ad unit out there really is a responsibility, right? We need to understand everyone and make sure everyone sort of benefit from that. It's always a sort of a balance play. When we look at very casual mobile games, right? They're everywhere. Everyone's playing that. There are, so many ad units within those gameplays.
You're not playing.
And when it comes to HD, I think a lot of the premise when I'm meeting with agencies, when I'm meeting with some of the resellers, speaking to agencies around the globe,